My boyfriend got my best friend pregnant. They sat me down in my own apartment and told me with faces full of guilt like I was the one who ruined something. But when I put a piece of paper on the table, just a simple medical report, their entire world collapsed. And if you think this story ends with heartbreak, you're wrong. It ends with eviction notices, legal receipts, and silence. Real silence, but let me start at the beginning. Also, drop where you're watching from in the comments. I'm in Austin, Texas, but I know stories like this happen everywhere. I'm 28 years old, and I've learned that the people who hurt you most don't come with warning labels. They share your Netflix password, borrow your favorite sweater, and know exactly how you take your coffee. They're sitting right next to you when you realize your life is about to implode. Tyler and I had been together for 3 years. We met at a mutual friend's barbecue, one of those perfect Austin evenings where the weather actually cooperates and everyone's pretending they're not sweating through their shirts. He was charming in that effortless way that makes you forget to be cautious. Dark hair, easy smile, the kind of guy who remembers your mom's birthday and actually calls her. Alyssa had been my best friend since college. We survived organic chemistry together at UT, which basically means we're bonded for life. She was there through my dad's cancer scare, my first real heartbreak, and that terrible pixie cut phase I went through in 2019. She was more than a friend. She was family. The sister I chose. 6 months ago, Tyler and I decided to get a place together. Not just any place, but a gorgeous 3-bedroom apartment in South Congress. Floor-to-ceiling windows, exposed brick, one of those kitchens with an island where you imagine hosting dinner parties you'll never actually have. The rent was steep, $3,200 a month, but split between us, it was manageable. My name went on the lease because my credit score was better. Tyler's student loans had decimated his, and it just made sense at the time. 4 months ago, Alyssa went through a rough breakup. The guy she'd been seeing for 2 years just ghosted her, blocked her on everything, moved to Portland without warning. She was devastated. I found her crying on my doorstep at 2 a.m. with a bottle of wine and mascara streaking down her face. Of course I let her in. Of course I told her she could stay as long as she needed. After 3 weeks of her sleeping on our couch, Tyler suggested something that seemed perfectly logical. Why doesn't she just take the spare bedroom? She's here all the time anyway, and she could help with rent. I remember thinking how sweet it was that he cared about my friend, how lucky I was to have a boyfriend who understood that Alyssa wasn't just some random friend. She was important to me, so I drew up a sublease agreement. Nothing fancy, just something I found online and modified. Official enough to protect everyone, casual enough not to make it weird. Alyssa signed it over morning coffee, joking about how I was such a mom with my paperwork. She Venmo'd me her portion of the security deposit, $1,600, and we all settled into our new dynamic. The 3 of us living together felt natural. Sunday brunches on the balcony, movie nights where Tyler made his famous jalapeno popcorn, Alyssa teaching me her grandmother's secret marinara recipe. We were young professionals in Austin living our best lives. I thought I was living in a romantic comedy. Turns out it was a psychological thriller, and I was the only one who didn't know the plot. Looking back, the signs were there. I just didn't want to see them. Tyler started going to the gym at weird hours. 5 a.m. some days, 10 p.m. others. Said he was trying this new program that required schedule variation for muscle confusion. I bought it because why wouldn't I? This was Tyler. My Tyler. The guy who held my hair back when I got food poisoning from that sketchy taco truck. The guy who drove 4 hours to San Antonio just to get me my favorite pan dulce when I was homesick. Alyssa suddenly became interested in hiking. This girl who previously considered walking to the coffee shop exercise was now buying $100 trail shoes and moisture-wicking everything. She'd leave early Saturday mornings, coming back glowing and talking about elevation gains and trail difficulty. Tyler would ask about her routes with this weird intensity, like he was mentally mapping every step she took. Then there were the looks. Quick glances when they thought I wasn't watching. This strange energy in the room when all 3 of us were together, like the air was charged with something I couldn't name. Once I came home early from work with a migraine and found them in the kitchen, standing too close, jumping apart when I walked in. Tyler's hand was on her lower back. Just for a second, but I saw it. Just helping her reach the top shelf, he said, even though Alyssa's 5'8" and could easily reach everything in our kitchen. I pushed the doubt down, told myself I was being paranoid, that working 60-hour weeks in digital marketing was making me crazy, that I needed to trust the 2 people I loved most in the world. 3 nights ago, everything shattered. I was in my room, responding to emails, when Tyler knocked, not his usual casual tap, but this formal, hesitant knock like he was entering a stranger's office. Babe, can you come to the living room? Alyssa and I need to talk to you about something. My stomach dropped. You know that feeling when your body knows something terrible is coming before your brain catches up? That primal alarm that says dangers even when everything looks normal. That's what I felt walking those 15 feet to the living room. They were sitting on the couch but not together. Tyler on one end, Alyssa on the other, like they'd measured the distance to seem appropriate. The coffee table had been cleared of its usual clutter. My magazines, Tyler's gaming controller, Alyssa's collection of half-empty Les Croix cans. Just empty space between us. Sit down, please, Tyler said. His hands were doing this thing where he kept clasping and unclasping them, a nervous tic from his childhood I'd only seen during his dad's funeral and his thesis defense. I stayed standing. What's going on? Alyssa couldn't look at me. She was staring at the wall behind my head. At this photo from last year's Halloween where the three of us dressed as the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus, we looked so happy, so stupid. "We need to tell you something," Tyler started. "And I need you to know that we never meant for this to happen." The words came out in a rush after that. They'd fallen in love. It started innocently just talking during those early morning gym sessions, turns out they were going together. Then coffee after workouts. Then feelings they couldn't ignore. Then, "I'm pregnant." Alyssa's voice was so quiet I almost didn't hear it. But I did. The words hung in the air like smoke from a fire that was about to consume everything. "It's Tyler's," she added unnecessarily, finally meeting my eyes. Hers were red-rimmed, puffy. She'd been crying. Good, I thought, then hated myself for thinking it. "We're so sorry," Tyler said, reaching for my hand. I stepped back and he let his arm fall. "We fought it. We really did. But sometimes you can't help who you..." "Stop." My voice came out steadier than I expected. Professional, almost. Like I was declining a vendor proposal at work. "Just stop." They exchanged a look, quick, but I caught it. Relief mixed with confusion. They'd expected screaming, crying, maybe thrown objects. They'd prepared for Hurricane Emma. Instead, they got eerie calm. "We understand if you need time," Alyssa said, her hand moving to her stomach in what looked like a practiced gesture. "We want to handle this like adults." Adults. The word almost made me laugh. That's when I remembered the paper. Earlier that day, Alyssa had been printing something in the corner of the living room where we keep the printer. She'd seemed flustered, grabbing pages quickly and mumbling about doctor's appointments. After she left, I'd gone to print some contracts for work and found a sheet left behind. It was from Austin Women's Health Center, dated 5 days ago. I grabbed it, planning to give it to her, but only glanced at the header before folding it and leaving it on the kitchen counter. Her private medical information wasn't my business. But now, standing in my living room with my world collapsing, that paper called to me. I walked to the kitchen, their eyes following me, picked up the folded sheet, opened it slowly, deliberately. Then I turned it around so they could both see. The document was a standard prenatal care summary: blood pressure normal, weight gain on track, vitamins prescribed, and there at the top, in bold clinical text, patient progressing well at 22 weeks of pregnancy. 22 weeks. 5.5 months. I watched their faces change as the math hit them. Tyler's expression went from confused to calculating, to horrified in the span of 3 seconds. His eyes darted between the paper and Alyssa's stomach, which, now that I was really looking, showed the subtle round of someone well into their second trimester hidden under a loose sweater. "What the fuck is this?" Tyler's voice cracked like a teenager's. Alyssa went pale. "That has to be wrong. The dates, they must have made a mistake." "A mistake." Tyler stood up, his whole body rigid. "You're 5.5 months pregnant. We've only been..." He stopped. Seeming to remember I was in the room, then continued anyway. "We've only been together for 3 months. The silence that followed was deafening. I could hear the upstairs neighbor's TV, a dog barking somewhere outside, the hum of our refrigerator. Normal sounds in a moment that was anything but normal. "It's yours," Alyssa said desperately. "It has to be yours. The timing, maybe I'm just further along than Bay." "That's not how pregnancy works." Tyler's voice rose. 5.5 months ago I was in Denver for that conference. We hadn't even... He turned to me then, like I might provide some explanation that would make this make sense. But I just stood there, holding the paper, watching my ex-boyfriend realize he'd blown up his life for someone else's pregnancy. Also, if you've ever had someone try to guilt trip you after betraying you, hit that like button. I thought I was crazy for feeling cold about it, but I wasn't. "Whose is it?" Tyler asked Alyssa, his voice dangerous now. "I don't. I'm not." She was crying now. Ugly sobs that shook her shoulders. "Maybe Jake." "Jake? Your ex Jake? The one who left for Portland?" Tyler laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Are you seriously telling me you were pregnant when you moved in here?" The truth was written all over her face. She'd known. She'd known she was pregnant when she showed up on my doorstep with her sob story. She'd known when she signed the sublease. She'd known when she started whatever this was with Tyler. "I need both of you out," I said, my voice cutting through their argument. They turned to me like they'd forgotten I was there. "What?" Alyssa's voice was small. "Out. You have 30 days. That's what the sublease requires for termination. 30 days written notice, which I'll provide tomorrow. You can't just kick us out," Tyler said. "I live here. We live here." "No," I corrected, pulling out my phone to check the lease documents I'd wisely saved to my cloud. "I live here. My name is on the lease. You both signed sublet agreements that I have the authority to terminate with proper notice. 30 days. That's it." "This is insane," Alyssa said, mascara running down her cheeks. "You're seriously going to make a pregnant woman homeless?" The audacity of it, playing the pregnancy card after what she'd just done, almost broke through my calm. "I'm not making anyone homeless. You have 30 days to find alternative housing. I suggest you start looking tonight." I walked to my bedroom, closed the door, and sat on my bed. My hands were shaking, but not from sadness, from pure crystallized rage, but I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of seeing me break. Through the door, I could hear them arguing. Tyler's voice, loud and accusatory. Alyssa's defensive and shrill. The sound of a door slamming his bedroom. Then another hers. Then silence. The next morning, I woke up at 5 a.m. and got to work. Not my actual job, this was personal administration. I opened my laptop and created a spreadsheet titled Exit Strategy. First, I drafted the official 30-day notice. I found a template online, modified it to match our situation, and printed 2 copies. Clean, professional, legally sound. I taped one to each of their doors and took photos for documentation. Then I changed every password. Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime. The Wi-Fi password. My Spotify family plan that they'd both been mooching off. Even my Instacart account that Alyssa had been using for her oat milk and organic produce. I sent an email to my landlord, Mr. Ramirez. Dear Mr. Ramirez, I'm writing to inform you that I will be terminating the sublease agreements for both subtenants effective 30 days from today's date. As per Section 7 of our lease agreement, I have the authority to manage sublease at my discretion. The apartment will remain fully occupied by me, and rent will continue to be paid in full and on time. Please let me know if you need any additional documentation. Best regards, Emma. He responded within hours. Understood. As long as rent is covered, subletting arrangements are your responsibility. Please ensure all parties vacate peacefully. I screenshot his response. Documentation was going to be my best friend through this process. Tyler tried to corner me that evening as I was making dinner. Emma, come on. Let's talk about this rationally. I continued chopping vegetables, my knife work precise and rhythmic. We are being rational. You have 29 days left. This is our home. No, Tyler. This is my home. You're a subtenant who violated the implied covenant of good faith. Would you prefer I pursue legal action for intentional infliction of emotional distress? He blinked. Where is this coming from? This isn't you. I finally looked at him. Really looked at him. His hair was messy, his usual put-together appearance cracking. Good. You're right. The old me would have cried. Would have begged for an explanation. Would have tried to understand how my boyfriend and best friend could do this to me. But that person died 3 nights ago when you two decided to blow up my life. This is who's left. He actually stepped back. I still love you. The laugh that came out of me was sharp enough to cut glass. No, Tyler, you love the idea of me, the stability I provided, the way I made your life easy, but love? Love doesn't do what you did. Alyssa tried a different approach. She caught me as I was leaving for work, looking small and fragile in her pajamas. Emma, please. I'm scared. I don't have anywhere to go. Your parents live in Round Rock. That's 20 minutes away. I can't tell them. Not like this. That sounds like a you problem. How can you be so cold? Tears were already starting. She cried a lot these days. We were best friends. Sisters. Were. I agreed. Past tense. You killed that relationship when you decided to sleep with my boyfriend while carrying another man's baby. Although points for creativity, that's a level of deception I didn't know you were capable of. I never meant to get caught? Yeah, I figured. The tears stopped. For a second I saw the real Alyssa, the calculating one who'd orchestrated this whole situation. You're going to regret this, when you're alone and we're happy. Happy? I interrupted. You think Tyler's gonna stick around to raise another man's baby? You think your relationship built on lies and betrayal is going to last? You're delusional. I was right. Within a week the cracks were showing. They fought constantly. I could hear them through the walls, Tyler demanding to know who the father really was. Alyssa trying to convince him it didn't matter, that they could be a family anyway. One morning I found Tyler sleeping on the couch. Trouble in paradise? I asked, making my coffee. He didn't answer, just glared at me with bloodshot eyes. You know, I said, adding cream to my mug, none of this had to happen. You could have been honest with me, ended things like an adult. Instead you chose this. I made a mistake. No, Tyler. You made a choice. A series of choices, actually. Every morning you went to the gym with her was a choice. Every text you sent was a choice. Every lie you told me was a choice. Own it. Week 2 brought psychological warfare. They started small, leaving dishes in the sink, playing music just loud enough to be annoying but not quite loud enough to complain about, using my expensive shampoo and leaving the bottle empty in the shower. I documented everything. Photos, timestamps, detailed notes in my spreadsheet. Then came the social media campaign. Alyssa posted a series of vague but pointed Instagram stories. When people show you who they really are, believe them. Choosing love over hate every single day. Some people can't handle other people's happiness. Tyler's Facebook status updated to "It's complicated," which at 28 years old was embarrassingly juvenile. My phone started buzzing with messages from mutual friends. I crafted one response and copy-pasted it to everyone. Hi. I know you're probably hearing a lot of different versions of what's happening. I don't want to put you in the middle, but here are the facts. Tyler and Alyssa began a relationship while we were together. Alyssa is 22 weeks pregnant, which predates her relationship with Tyler by several months. I've asked them to move out. That's all I'm comfortable sharing. Thanks for understanding. The messages stopped pretty quickly after that. Math doesn't lie, and everyone could count backwards from 22 weeks. My friend Lauren called me that night. Holy shit, Emma. Are you okay? I'm surprisingly fine. Do you need me to come over? I can bring wine and we can burn their stuff. I laughed. The first genuine laugh in weeks. No arson necessary, but thank you. You're handling this incredibly well. I'm handling it legally. There's a difference. Tyler's parents reached out next. His mom, Sandra, had always been sweet to me. Her text was careful. Emma, honey. Tyler told us you're going through a separation. We're heartbroken. You'll always be family to us. If you need anything, please call. I responded, thank you, Sandra. I care about you and Robert too. Tyler can share the details if he chooses, but I need to distance myself for now. I hope you understand. She hearted the message. Tyler must not have told them about the pregnancy yet. That night I heard him on the phone with his brother. No, I can't stay with you, because it's complicated. Because just trust me. Okay, I'll figure it out. Alyssa was having similar conversations. Mom, please don't ask questions right now. I just need no, I can't come home, because I can't. Okay. They were running out of options and they knew it. Day 25. I sent them both an email. Subject, move out inspection reminder. As your 30-day notice period ends in 5 days, please be reminded of the following. 1. All personal belongings must be removed by 11:59 p.m. on day 30. 2. Rooms must be returned to the same condition as move-in photos attached for reference. 3. Keys must be returned on final day. 4. Security deposit return will be processed within 30 days of move-out, minus any deductions for damages or cleaning. 5. Any items left behind will be considered abandoned and disposed of. Please confirm receipt of this email. Emma. Tyler responded, this is ridiculous. Alyssa didn't respond at all. Over the next few days, their behavior became increasingly erratic. They'd clearly given up on trying to manipulate me and had moved into pure spite mode. I came home to find my cast iron skillet in the dishwasher. Anyone who cooks knows this is basically a war crime. My favorite mug was mysteriously broken. The pieces left on the counter. The thermostat kept getting changed to either Arctic or tropical temperatures. I documented everything, every single thing. On day 29, I did a video walkthrough of their rooms while they were out. Tyler's room had multiple holes in the walls where he'd clearly punched them. The carpet had several stains that looked like red wine. The blinds were bent and broken. Alyssa's room was worse. Makeup stains on the carpet that looked intentional. The closet door was off its track. There were what appeared to be hair dye stains in the bathroom we'd agreed would be hers. I got quotes from contractors that same day. Saved every email, every estimate. On the morning of day 30, I woke up to silence. They were gone. No goodbye, no keys. They left them on the kitchen counter. No forwarding address. I did the final inspection, taking over 100 photos. Then I sat down and compiled my final settlement. Security deposit settlement Tyler Morrison and Alyssa Chen. Original deposit each, $1,600. Total combined $3,200. Deductions. Drywall repair, 3 holes, $450. Carpet cleaning, $300. Carpet replacement irreversible stains, $800. Blinds replacement, $150. Closet door repair, $200. Professional deep clean $350. Painting, $400. Total deductions, $2,650. Amount returned, $550. Check will be mailed to the forwarding address you provide within 30 days. If no address is provided, check will be held for 90 days, then considered abandoned. All deductions include photo documentation and contractor quotes attached. Tyler responded immediately, you're stealing our money, we'll sue. I forwarded him photos of the holes he'd punched in the walls. He didn't respond again. Alyssa texted me, I hope you're happy now. I didn't respond. I wasn't happy, but I was free. It's been 2 months now. The apartment is quiet in a way that feels intentional, chosen, not the tense silence of those final weeks, but something peaceful. I turned Tyler's room into a home office. Painted it a soft sage green, bought a standing desk, hung plants in the window. It's where I'm sitting now actually, recording this story. Alyssa's room is a guest room, though I haven't had any guests yet. I'm not ready for people in my space. Not yet. The mutual friends circle split. As expected. Some believed their version that I'd overreacted, that I was heartless for kicking out a pregnant woman. Others did the math and came to their own conclusions. I lost some people I thought were friends, but the ones who mattered stayed. Lauren comes over every Sunday for breakfast, tacos, and mimosas. Emily started a weekly wine night where we specifically don't talk about our exes. My therapist. Yes, I got a therapist, says I'm processing everything remarkably well. You maintained your boundaries under extreme pressure. She told me last week. That's not cold. That's strength. From what I hear through the grapevine, and Austin's tech scene is surprisingly small, Tyler and Alyssa are not together. He moved back in with his parents after their relationship imploded within weeks of leaving my apartment. She's living with her cousin in North Austin, preparing for single motherhood. Tyler apparently told people she tricked him. Alyssa says he abandoned her. The truth, I suspect, is somewhere in between. 2 selfish people who thought they were in love but were really just in lust, destroying everything around them for something that wasn't even real. I ran into Tyler's mom at Whole Foods last month. She hugged me, which I wasn't expecting. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "For what he did. For what they both did. I raised him better than that. It's not your fault." I told her and meant it. "He's lost without you," she said. "He knows what he threw away." I didn't know what to say to that, so I just squeezed her hand and walked away. Sometimes late at night I think about the life I thought I was building, the future that had Tyler in it. Maybe kids eventually, maybe a house in one of those suburbs with good schools and HOAs that care too much about lawn height. That life is gone, burnt to the ground by two people who claim to love me. But from those ashes I'm building something else. Something that's entirely mine. No shared passwords, no joint accounts, no spare keys floating around. Just me, figuring out who I am when I'm not trying to be someone's girlfriend or someone's best friend. I'm taking guitar lessons, started rock climbing at that new gym in South Austin, joined a book club that meets at a wine bar downtown. Small things, but they're mine. The other day I was cleaning out a closet and found a box of photos. The three of us at ACL last year, sweaty and sunburnt and deliriously happy. Tyler and me at his cousin's wedding, slow dancing to At Last by Etta James. Alyssa and me at graduation, caps thrown in the air, our whole lives ahead of us. I looked at them for a long time. These artifacts of a life that feels like it belonged to someone else. Then I put them back in the box, taped it shut, and put it in storage. Not thrown away, I'm not there yet, but not in my space either. My therapist says healing isn't linear. That some days I'll feel powerful and other days I'll feel broken. She's right. There are mornings when I wake up forgetting they're gone, reaching for Tyler's warmth, picking up my phone to text Alyssa about something stupid I saw online. But those moments are getting rarer. Last week I signed a new lease. Just my name, no subletters, no roommates. It's smaller, a one-bedroom in the same neighborhood, but it has this incredible balcony that overlooks the city, and at sunset the whole skyline turns gold. I'm moving next month, starting fresh. Not running away, I could stay in the old place if I wanted. Mr. Ramirez offered to renew the lease, but I don't want to live in a space that holds those memories, those ghosts. If you stayed with me this far, thank you. I hope my story shows that even when everything breaks, you don't have to fall apart with it. If you want more real stories like this, subscribe and turn on notifications. I've got more to share.